I've got good news and bad news. Here's the bad news. Most protein bars are packed with sugar and unpronounceable ingredients. The good news? There's a better option. I'm Will, and I created IQ Bar plant protein bars to empower doers like you with clean, delicious, low-sugar brain and body fuel. IQ bars are packed with 12 grams of protein, brain nutrients like magnesium and lion's mane, and zero weird stuff. And right now, you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping. Try our delicious IQ Bar sampler pack with 7 plant protein bars, 4 hydration mixes, and 4 enhanced coffee sticks. Clean ingredients, amazing taste, and you'll love how you feel. Refuel smarter, hydrate harder, caffeinate larger with IQ Bar.
Go to eatiqbar.com and enter code BAR20 to get 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping. Again, go to eatiqbar.com and enter code BAR20.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Altar Call. I am your host, Tane, here to talk about Love is Blind, episodes 10 and 11. Oh, yeah, season 10, OHIO. Here, as usual, is Brian from Maps Virgin to talk about this very lovely batch of episodes. Hi, Brian. How are you?
Grossed out by Chris.
Our little Labubu is still talking, still talking. And
you
honestly,
shut up.
Bree's still there listening.
Yeah.
So this was interesting. I'll say this. It's what I expected in terms of the people, but I am entertained. And when I say people, I've said this before, I thought it was gonna basically give me Denver, Minnesota vibes, like what the scenes were like. It is, but I'm entertained. The foolishness remains, consistency is key, and the Twilight Zone fights is there, and I'm enjoying the season. Everyone every season, I'm done. Love is Blind is done. I don't participate in those talks, guys. I admit my flaws. I'm not quitting these shows. I'm gonna watch them, but I'm glad I'm enjoying them. So
yeah, no, it's what I wanted. We got some love triangles in the pods. We've got for sure a couple that is going to say yes. We've got for sure some couples that need to say no, and some crazy fights. And this is what I want from a season of Love is Blind. I don't understand people who are like, I watch these dating shows because I believe in true love and want everyone to wind up together. I'm just like, why the fuck do you want that? You don't want to see fights and mess? I want one couple to prove that this can work, but for the most part, give me some mess.
Yeah, I want half and half,
Yeah.
So, okay. Shout out to the patrons. Thank you for supporting the podcast over on patreon.com. Just letting you know that you can sign up over there to get bonus episodes. If you only want ad-free episodes, you can also sign up for that. Letting you know that part 2 of Bridgerton came out on Netflix. Guys, there's too much content. I was just telling Brian before we came on, I can't keep up. The stuff I'm watching for fun, the stuff that, we're covering, it's just so much stuff. And you're expected to actually live a life outside of watching TV. I always joke that work is getting in the way of me watching TV, but it pays the bills.
How dare TLC bring back Unexpected knowing that I have to watch that? I love that show, and I'm just I don't have space right now for that.
You didn't convince me to watch it. I watched the version of it way back then, but I don't watch it right now. But
I love it.
Oh God, I'm not going to take
it's
it on.
Trash.
It doesn't exist. But Bridgerton Part 2 came out on Netflix. So letting you know that Part 1 coverage is over on Patreon. Covered that with Aid as a bonus episode. Part 2 will be up soon. So giving you time to watch it. And then the coverage will be also on there. Also, for those of you who watch Ready to Love, I've got a little questions about that. I don't cover it week to week, but I always do a season recap. The reunion recap for Ready to Love. It's an own show if you've never watched it. It's also a dating show. Is also up on Patreon. And then on the regular feed, Raven from Bitches Better was on the pod, and we covered the America's Next Top Model documentary, Inside Reality, American Next Top Model. And it's weird to say a fun one to cover, but it was just interesting, to cover where we're looking through the lens of Top Model 20 something odd years ago through the lens of now. And it's just such an odd conversation, and it's how do you even approach that? But we did, and you can check that out on the regular feed. And wanted to remind you guys, as always, this is how we've always covered all the Love is Blinds, that there will be no coverage of the weddings next week because really, guys, there's nothing to cover. It's a yes, it's a no. They just drag it out and somehow find a way to make it an hour some. So we usually just combine it with the reunion recap. I don't think they've announced when the reunion is coming out, so we're just going to put that all together. So if you're looking out for that, it's not going to be there, but we'll be back with the reunion. So today we are going to talk about the rest of the meetup, the highlights of the couples here and there, their tux and wedding dress fitting, and their final dates, and then the one more breakup that we got, and the one and a half
Question mark?
other breakup where the other person is like, nah, we're not breaking up. We're getting married. So
I was real confused.
we're going to talk about that. And I do want to talk about, they're already doing podcast episodes. They're already talking. They're already things are coming out. And for Alex changed his name. And that's been the whole thing. He changed it from Alec Farrell to Alex Henderson in 2020. He changed it because he says he wanted to cut ties with his stepfather's last name because his stepfather was abusive. He's kind of talked about that during the show. And so he went back to his original identity because he was adopted by his stepdad. So he had his stepdad's name. All this was mentioned on his podcast. Alex has a podcast. He was preemptive. He did it before the show. It's called Play Life Beautifully. I just want to say, I really like the title of his podcast.
It's a nice title. I am listening to that shit.
Play Life Beautifully. And I went to look and I went to dig into check, and it looks like it was started right before the Love is Blind premiere, because it's always like, did you have it before, or did you just wait? Did you time it? I don't know, but it was done right before the Love is Blind premiere. The first episode was January 15, and as of when we're recording right now, it has 3 episodes up. So just wanted to give you guys that.
Slow. You're doing one episode every couple of weeks. I mean, that's
He's
not
busy. He has to depress, Brian.
He's busy running from whatever he's running from. I get changing your last name. Why change your first name? Is it your stepdad's first name too? Are you a junior of a stepdad?
Brian, I wasn't gonna say anything. I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe you need to change your name for a trust in Dubai. I don't know. But
this man is homeless.
Just wanted
trust my ass.
Completely changed. Okay. We pick right back up at the meetup where they were, and we pick up with this stupid, inappropriate conversation between Chris and Bree. And she's asking him, oh, why didn't you say anything in Kabul? Why? Why is an engaged woman wanting to know why he didn't say anything in Kabul? What would have changed? But I asked this question, and then I remember that this is the woman who's like, this is bizarre. We're not even asking what happened. We went through an experience. So it makes sense in her brain.
I think she wanted validation. She pisses me off a lot. Mm-hmm. I don't think it was one of those, if you would have said this in Cabo, I would have left Connor for you. I just think that she likes attention. She likes men telling her positive things about herself. She likes to hear those things. And she would have felt better about herself in Cabo had he said this to her. This is so inappropriate, though. None of this is okay.
And unnecessary. I need to add that, because what is it changing? Like you said, it's just the attention. But outside of that, what does that change? What is the point of it, of listening to a man shit on my fiance?
Right.
So, okay. I can't fact check because I don't remember what happened. But then he tells her that the night Jess said that he was her number one, he told Connor. And then Connor was like, okay, I guess I'll make Bree my number one. And I was like, again, don't know these people personally, but it doesn't even sound like something Connor would do. But I do remember Connor just saying Bree is my number one. She won't shut the fuck up, but she's my number one. So where is this coming from? Because Bree broke up with Chris, and then Chris was just like, same here. And I'm like, we didn't know what we know now, but it was like a preemptive, I'm not a sucker.
No. This all sounds like the made up ramblings of a blackout drunk man. Like, this is just shit you say when you are super wasted and trying to find whatever phrase you can do to get this woman to be interested in you and like leave her man. I don't believe any of this happened. Like, none of
just
it.
just for the heck of it. This happened last season. Again, don't remember names, but that guy that was trying to get Sparkle Megan,
Mm-hmm.
saying like, "Oh, you want a man? I chose the ring. You know, did you get the ring that you wanted?" Trying to prove that whoever the heck
Yeah,
you are.
it
But
was the allegedly rich man.
this is why I also hate this the stupid ass baseless apologies, because I think they're all talking. Maybe I think Chris put out an apology like we all make mistakes, yada yada, edited show, whatever it is. Because
Whatever.
whatever you're doing right now is intentional. Whatever, I don't care if it's fueled by alcohol, it's intentional and it's just awful. And it may not be who you are, but it's sure as hell something you have done and it came from you. So
It's yeah.
suck it.
I mean, my great grandma used to say, "A drunk mind speaks a sober truth." Like, yeah, you might be, making up. You might not do this if you were sober, but you think this shit all the time. Like, it's
Mhm.
clearly where your mind is at. You're just not good at it because your blood alcohol level is like 0.95 at this point. Like, you're just drunk.
Well, he feels like if he hadn't said it, Connor would have gone with Emma. He says like part of what he was worried about her was that he was worried that she was friends with a lot of dudes. That wasn't enough, but not just dudes, but like a lot of dudes who are loser dudes, not present company excluded. Please,
Well,
not I. Ah.
not me with my debt and my my made up life. Is now, was he talking about specifically the loser dudes in the pods, or was he like, I went through your social media and I know some of the dudes you're friends with and those dudes are losers? Was he talking
It
about in the pods?
has to be in the pods because he's saying that's why he was worried about her, that she was friends with a lot of dudes. Because in the pods, he wouldn't know the friends outside.
I guess.
So my
What is he
interpretation
friends
was
with?
the dudes in there. And I'm just like, so not just shitting on Jess, which is why I chose him, which I asked a bunch of people also in our Patreon chat. And the people, it was hand slides. It was Chris Overshake, by the way. So
Yeah,
they're like,
yeah.
they're
I
even
think he's
worse
the
people.
worst.
We need to mark it on our calendar to do a ranking of like the grooms on Love Is Blind. I think
We got to
that's
do
homework in itself. Yeah, but we're gonna do that. But
the grooms plus arena.
I just don't understand why Bree is still having this conversation, because as he's talking about losers, he is a loser through and through. So that wasn't enough, guys. But wait, there's more. He says, "Can I ask you a crazy question?" Ha ha ha. With your wedding ring on. Ha ha ha. She's like,
Oh
"Yeah,
my
go
god.
ahead." Why? Listen, Brie is not free of all of this. Like, she is culpable
No.
in this whole thing. And I'm just like annoyed by it all. Like I said, this conversation went on way longer than it should have. And
Yep.
so Labubu says, "Are you attracted to me?" I'm like, "What?"
Motherfucker, kiss
I
my
just
ass. Why are you asking her this?
what is going to happen, or what do you think? Well, anyways, before she even responds, he starts going like, "Baby, I would take you to the Four Seasons." And I know people think that's luxurious. It's not really, it's not a thing. And then we'll order whatever it is she had said in the pods that he's recalling and saying it. And then
Mhm.
I don't know what she said. He's like, "Baby, stop. Ew.
She
Ew."
said, "Oh, room service arose from Mr. Fusco." I'm like, why are you playing along with this fantasy of you guys going to the Four Seasons and getting room service and shit? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Like, to this whole
Right.
conversation.
Like,
Like,
no, I would be furious if my wife was part of this conversation. The fuck are you doing? Like,
blows raspberries on this conversation. In fact,
yes.
all the berry family, blueberries, strawberries, raspberries on
Throwing
this
tomatoes. Throwing
conversation.
tomatoes.
What the hell?
God. Ah.
So, Labubu is really feeling himself because he says, "We would have been fuck buddies. I saw your Instagram and I was like, yes." And I'm like, Bree, Breezy, if you're not going to walk away right now, like of all the things you should have, but now that he says you're not good enough for a girlfriend, we would just have been fuck buddies. What else is going to make you walk away? Because this was the
Right.
insult upon all the insults.
Yeah, you could see in her face, she's like, "Oh, this is gross. I'm still here, though." I'm just like, would you mush this man in the face and walk away, please? What are you doing?
Like, don't like, now we're about to insult you and you're just so she says, the thing is, I think that was the cold water on her face though. She was just
Yeah,
going along that after he says, yeah, we would have been fuck buddies. She's like, well, if Connor had dropped me, like I would have been out. Like this, I wouldn't have done that with anyone. And then I think the boo boo was like, wait, all this didn't work. Ugh, I'm done.
right.
I'm bored. It was
These
just the
podcasts are a waste
chase.
of my time.
It was the chase and the game and all that stuff that I think he was into. Not necessarily that, I mean, we all knew that, but it's just for her,
Mhm.
that's when the realization hits. And then Priyanka comes, but Priyanka is best supporting character. Like from the
Yeah.
pods to the meetups, and now she's just showing up and she just comes by, and then I know something was edited out because he
Mhm.
randomly is just like, apparently I'm like fucking Andrew Tate. And then she's like, huh? And he's like, Andrew Tate, that guy. She's like, I don't know who that is. And he's like, whatever. But this is validation for you, Brian. You came
Yeah.
through with your theory about the manosphere and the podcast. A broken clock is right twice. I'm kidding. You're not a broken clock. But
You're not wrong. But I clocked it. I'm like, okay, if Andrew Tate is on the tip of your tongue, like, no, you are deep into this territory. If
yeah.
he is not just a punchline for you, then like you listen to his shit, you internalize it, you believe that this man is some kind of a guru and knows what he's fucking talking about. Shame on you. Shame all over you. This is ridiculous.
I mean, Andrew Tate got Brie to walk away because that's when she finally walks away.
Yeah.
Kevin finally shows up and meets up with Kia, and Emma's asking like, "Hey, what happened with you guys?" And he starts again with the stupid speech. You was kind.
You're
You was
amazing.
amazing. You was great. And I will never forget you. But Kia wasn't having any of it. She's just like, okay,
No.
thank you. And she
Yeah, I know
just
you
kind of
won't.
shut it down. There was no conversation to be had with that. Yeah, I'm glad she shut it down because honestly, there's really nothing else to be said. And honestly, even if you ask Kevin, he's not going to have anything to say, to be honest. I don't think he has the words.
That's true. Something's happening here though, because
Mm.
if you look in the background of some of these other scenes, there's a shot of them sitting down on the couch having a one-on-one that they just didn't show us.
Oh,
So
okay.
there was more that was said. I don't know the chronological order, if that was before we saw them have their first meet or what. I don't know exactly when that was going on, but there's
Mhm.
shots of them having like a different conversation elsewhere at this event that they just didn't show us. So I'm wondering if it was just like not interesting to put on camera or what they thought about it. But yeah, this wasn't their whole interaction, at least.
Oh God, editing. I'm still wondering why Tyler was.
Mhm.
Maybe she declined and just like I'm not doing this
Yeah.
for
Like for
anything.
what? For who?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to come to this.
Okay. Connor goes over to Bree and is like, "What's up with that conversation that they were having?" Uh, and she's like, "Oh, we can talk about this later." I mean, that's fair. This is not the right place to
Yeah.
have any conversation and have him spiraling about what was their conversation about. We see Priyanka, Ashley, and Alex together as a refresher. Alex didn't know who Priyanka was, but later on told the producer that she was in his friend group in Chicago. And Ashley's
Mhm.
like, "Oh, yeah, how do you guys know each other?" And Priyanka is like, "Oh, yeah, from Chicago and then from Austin." And then she's like, "Wait, what? What Austin?" And she's like, "Wait, I
Mhm.
thought you moved to Austin." And he's like, "Yeah, for a little bit." And she says, "Yeah, right. You were looking for a place." And he starts his mile a minute a second and just starts
Ugh.
explaining so many things. And I mean, I guess the show is just not going to address the fact that they knew each other in the pods and how it happened in the pods. Did they go in on a date and then they figured like, "Hey, Priyanka, I know you," kind of like what happened with Uche
Yeah.
back then in the season of Houston. They're just choosing not to show us, choosing not to tell us. Did they know they were going in before? When they found out, does it ruin the integrity of the experience? What are the rules? But I'm asking for too much. Am I not?
I mean, I would like to know. I
Yeah.
also, there were a couple of moments in here where he is talking and it felt like she and he had some kind of romantic thing at some point in time as well. Because he's covering his tracks in a way to also say, and like also when I met you, I wasn't. And I'm like, well, that's not that doesn't really matter if you had a girlfriend or a situationship, whatever, when you met Priyanka, if you guys never hooked up or made out or anything. I need them to address this with some depth at the reunion. They're not going to. We're probably going to have 20 more minutes of basketball again. But like,
maybe
I
baseball
need
this time.
well, it'll be soccer. It'll be like Alex in goal, stopping shots or PKs.
Maybe
or
Tim
whatever.
Howard will make an appearance. Who called him out? Also, I loved
Alex
it.
would wet his pants. Alex would pee everywhere if he saw Tim Howard in person. Like, this was all a mess. I'm so confused by everything he is. I don't get it.
I will say, I have seen on the internet people saying that they think that Priyanka and Alex had something. And I will say, I mean, absolutely, I could be wrong. I just didn't get that vibe that both of them have ever had an entanglement or anything romantic or sexual.
Yeah. I didn't get the vibe. I almost wonder if it wasn't her. I wonder if she was like close friends with one of his girlfriends at the time. And he's like, well, I don't want this to get back to her kind of a thing. But there were a couple of times that he said something that I was just like, you would not just say this if this was just like a friend of yours who you didn't know that well. It felt like you're covering too many tracks.
She was in the friend group and she knows enough.
Yeah.
You know, enough to make him nervous. But he
Clearly
has to cosplay as, I'm not nervous. I have nothing to hide. So
sweating everywhere.
So anyways, the point is Love is Blind is deciding not to show us the moment when they discovered that they both knew each other. And also, I do think it needs to be addressed. If two people happen to know each other, what are the rules for that?
Mm-hmm.
Do they just let them stay? Does it matter? Because one person gets to say, I know, because imagine if she was friends with Ashley. I can tell you all the history. I can tell you what he looks like, because that's what happened with, I can't remember her name. The whole Uche situation.
Yeah, he's a great guy and this and that. Yeah.
So I think that contaminates the whole thing. It's not blind. It got some contacts on at this point if we're telling stuff. So, that's
at least a monocle.
They need to address what happens. Because I know like it's impossible, like at some point people are going to know each other, but what do we do in that situation?
Yeah.
So, and for us to all find out at the meetup afterwards, I don't know. I feel bamboozled,
Yeah.
So,
and for him to act like he didn't recognize her when she came in. Oh, I think that might be Priyanka. I'm like, come on, you know her, man. What are we doing?
He didn't want to taint her experience. Come on, so selfless.
Taints everything else.
Priyanka's like, you were staying with the nurse, right? I gotta say, Priyanka was being messy. I know that she was just dropping facts. Like, oh, but you were staying with the travel nurse. And Ashley's like, hold up, wait a minute. What
do you mean staying with?
And at that point, Priyanka's not saying anything. She's dropped her grenades and she's just sitting there. But he's like, I feel like I'm being double teamed. I feel very double teamed right now. And he's like, I never said I lived in Austin. And I feel like he never said he lived in Austin. He's saying he lived in Austin and he said it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sir, we have heard everywhere in the globe. We have been through the continents. I do not recall Austin. As a Texas resident, would remember Austin. I do not even remember that at all. So I don't know.
No.
So
I think for him, lived in is a very broad term.
Yeah.
I think if he goes to visit somewhere for 2 or 3 weeks, I used to live there. Like if you lived there, why are you talking about I can bring up my Airbnb receipts? So if you're in an Airbnb, you are not living there. Like you're staying there for a little bit.
For a place to live while being there. So let me take a quick break and then we'll continue with this Twilight conversation. It wasn't a fight, but it was a Twilight conversation here. Okay, and we're back. So this is where it gets really confusing. Ashley starts asking, so where did you fly into from? He's like, I flew in from Austin. And I don't understand if this is a timeline thing. Is this like a meetup they had while they were still in the pods? Again, for anyone who doesn't know, the pods are in LA. So they filmed there. So are they saying you flew into the pods because they're trying to show us that this is afterwards, right?
Yeah.
When they're back and they've all moved in, but then they've moved into the apartments and it has to be after the apartments because Jess and Chris have broken up and they broke up in Ohio. So this was very confusing to me as to flying from where? Flying for what?
And I think it's confusing because man's lying to us.
No, I mean from production. Like,
I think it was.
They all flew in from somewhere, or just him.
I think everyone else flew in from Cleveland or from Ohio somewhere. And it's like you flew in from Austin. which means you were not living in Ohio when we were in the pods. Why? It's all real murky. And I think for
Yeah.
Ashley, her thought process might be, if you flew in from Austin, were you with your ex the day before the pod started? Is that is that kind of overlap?
I'm getting to the Ashley part. I think I'm trying to figure out why production is casting someone who's flying in from Austin. Why are you even buying his ticket? If he's telling you I'm coming in from Austin, or did he say I have a work thing? But if you're based in Ohio, why is your ticket coming from Austin? So then to Ashley, that is valid. You're telling me that you were
Yeah.
just there going around, but literally now Priyanka is saying you were looking for a place. You were living with the travel nurse. I need to see this travel nurse. I'm sure she's out
Right.
there. But
Probably.
and then now currently this is not an October January thing. You flew in
No.
from Austin. And then he's like, yeah, I flew in from there because I was trying to figure out if I want to live there. Like currently? You
Yes.
said
Right
you
now.
were done and you just went for F1 and she was just one of the people you saw. But people you saw that you also had sex with. It's a lot.
And you live with her. This is
It's
all
lot.
a mess.
You can see Ashley increasingly getting very frustrated and, saying all these things have never come up. I'm pretty chill and pretty cool. The problem is that you have never told me. And he's just like, ugh, I did. I mentioned this. I mean, what else do you want to know? And he turns this around because what is love is blind if a man is not gaslighting someone? And he turns it around and was like, but when he turns this around, literally, also with his hair, what was going on with that? There was a backwards, there was a forward, there was a side part situation, and I'm like, what is going on with this hair?
Listen, as a proud American bald, he needs to just come on home. Like something's happening with your hair where it is not what it appears to be. And you have it perfectly laid and styled in a way to cover up something happening up there. Come on home and shave your head, man. Like it's a nice life. You don't have to buy shampoo anymore at all. Like I don't know what was happening, but I think the combination of like flop sweat and whatever's happening with his male pattern baldness starting made it look terrible.
I mean, Tim Howard is bald and he's rocking it, so you'll be all right.
It's a nice life. Get some moisturizer, you're fine.
In his attempts to turn it around, he's suddenly like, so you're telling me like what? You've never hooked up with someone in between? She looks him dead in the eye and is like,
She's
no.
like, no.
And he's like, well, I question that. Like, this is what's so frustrating. I swear I don't understand what conservative values mean because from someone who doesn't, practice alleged conservative values, because conservative values to me would be like, oh, I'm single. I'm just going to be celibate and stay to myself. And now you have someone who's telling you, no, I have not hooked up with people in between relationships. And now you're questioning her like, oh, I question that. What are your conservative values? Guys, I am watching MAFS Australia right now, and there is a groom who is cast. Australia, they don't care. Here, they still try to pretend that it's for love. We have people being cast over there. This man specifically said in his vows at the altar, if I'm standing across from a woman who has woke values, we are going to have a problem. He said that is who is being cast over there. He's like, it's too much. And then they're doing like body count number. She tells him his and he's like, that's kind of like a lot. But she's like, how many is yours? Your number is higher than me and you have a problem. He has a problem with her working. And like, she's like, she has too much. He has said masculine energy so many times. I am going insane. And I'm just, what are conservative values to you? Because you define it, it doesn't apply to you. And the common denominator is it's only applied to the women. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, no, conservative values in this case just mean misogyny. And also, point of personal order, woke is a specific thing. It is specific to the Black American experience. It's not just a blanket term for all liberal shit. It is understanding the history of anti-Black racism in America and the way that the legacy of those things still impact us today. I lose my mind when it's like, oh, you have solar panels in your house, woke. That has nothing to do with this. It is specifically about one damn thing. And it was for 20 fucking years before anyone else knew that we were talking about this shit. And now it's just a blanket term for anything liberal. And I'm like, no, fuck up. Use terms correctly. My rant is over, but I get real mad whenever it's like, oh, you think that women should get equal pay? That's woke. No, it ain't. It's a whole different thing.
No, but you're right, because part of this guy, his name is Tyson. Part of his what he think is woke is a woman having green hair. He's very specific about that.
No,
He's like,
that is just fashion.
if you color your hair, if you dye your hair, he just calls it woke immediately. And I was like, we're talking about Australia, guys. But anyways, I'm sorry, I digress. I was just
make up your own words for shit.
I just didn't understand Alex saying like these are the values, and then you're going back and forth when you're the person who's doing what I would think is not. And that's the thing. You're calling conservative values and putting like stressors and guidelines on yourself, while the rest of us are like, you want to hook up with someone, do whatever the hell you want to do. Don't put all these things around it. But okay,
it's just code for misogyny. That's all this is, right?
Okay,
I'm gonna be all right, y'all.
But then he becomes really condescending and is like, I don't need to tell you everything. I mean, but if you want, I can tell you every time I jerk off. I'll let you know. And I'm like, guys,
I don't want to know that.
Can you remember that this man sniffing around Britney still hasn't been exposed? You know, and he's still walking around with all the confidence. And the fact that that is the least of his crimes is truly saying something. About
the fact
Alex.
that I forgot that even happened until you brought it back up. I'm like, oh, that's right. He was doing that shit too.
Yeah. So he's like, it was just easier to tell you not to tell you. And it's easier to tell you that I flew from Cleveland because, you know, you would have questions that I don't feel like answering. And it's not relevant for the process. I repeat, and I think I'm going to say this again. He tells his fiance, Ashley, that it was easier to lie to her and tell her that he flew from Cleveland because why? She would have questions about her fiance. And
you have to understand, it's a lot easier if I just lie.
And he did that because, oh my God, such an inconvenience to answer the question of my fiance wondering. And also, it is not relevant for the process. Priyanka is all of us because she's like, it's not a process. Like, it's a marriage. And I'm like, yes, it is a marriage. And then he throws a hissy fit and is like rude to her and is like, why are you even still here? And she's like, you're my friend. And you said process. I was just saying it was like a marriage. And he's like, yeah. She's like, you don't need to get snappy with me. I don't take shit like that. Like, I mean, you can talk to Ashley like that, but you cannot talk to me that way. Now, I will say, Priyanka was in that conversation longer than she should have. She was just sitting there while they were talking, and I'm like, Priyanka, just leave. He has nothing to do with you, and this man is just not worth it. So
no, it was Hannah, Amanda, and Kyle at Summer House, just in the shit, just to be in it for a while.
But I'm glad she stayed though, because I mean, it did give the entertainment on there, but she was like not having it. And she says, Priyanka finally leaves, and Ashley's like, you say a lot of words, but it has nothing in there. And he's like, okay, you want me to explain it again? Derogatory. He's saying this very condescendingly. That's his whole point. And she's like, I'm very understanding. All I ask is for you to be honest. And he's like, okay, where does that leave us? I'm like, oh my God. You can't work with this material at all. Chris then goes up to Connor, who's sitting beside Jess. But Chris specifically, like the last time, diabolically, goes up to Connor, daps him up. What's up? How you doing? And then he goes to Jess and is like, oh, can we talk? And she's like, okay, sure. As they walk away, Connor is like, Chris is hammered. And
he couldn't keep his left eye open.
And then the camera goes on Chris, and Chris is smiling. He's smiling like a character on the movie Smile, just like a permanent smile just plastered on his face. So he starts with, Jess, you haven't texted me once the whole time. And, you know, the thing is that you're attractive. You know, she has dark features. And, you know, I know you hate me, and that's okay. A lot of people hate me in my life. Let's zone in on that. Chris.
You probably should. Maybe that's
a common denominator.
That's a lesson you should take. I will say my quick beef that I did have in this moment with Breezy. I understand you don't want to talk to Connor about everything that happened right now, but at a minimum, you got to walk up and say, hey, I'll talk to you about it later on. That dude is not your friend, though. Like, at least say that. So when he comes over and like dabs me up, I'm like, no, fuck off. I heard something. Like, whatever this is, I'm on my guard instead of being like, hey, man, how's it going? Like, don't make me look stupid now.
She can't do that without implicating herself.
That's true.
because
Big fact.
she's
So she
not
was there for a long
his friend
time,
either.
right?
She was
That's
there
a fact.
saying about, oh, I can't blame him. Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Rose from Mr. Fusco. No, she was
Yeah,
an active participant
truly egging it on.
in that. And I think there's so many layers that we've passed by that Bree just didn't do things right. Like even
Hmm.
if he shouldn't have come up to her to say what was that conversation about, she should have gone straight up to him. Even if she doesn't say, I agree with you, like she probably should have said something, but just be like, hey, I know you probably saw the conversation was a long time, but we'll talk about it when we're home. We're good. Give him a kiss and then go away. But to you to go
Yeah,
back to your seat, like this man wasn't just diabolical to you and your fiance,
yep.
that's
That's
I
dirty
would have
pool.
I know myself. I would be so heated that I would probably have left. I would have just been like, honey, we gotta go. Like I
Yeah,
can't, we gotta go. But also I wouldn't have stayed that long to hear that much to get me that mad.
no,
So
none of that.
yeah. So he goes to Jess, of course, like, you haven't texted me. A lot of people hate me in my life. And he's like, when is the next time you get to chill? Because she's saying all the time, like, I have to work. I haven't gotten the time to rest. And he's like, when's the next time you have to chill? And she's like, why? What do you need to
It's
know
none of
that
your business.
for? Like, you don't have to worry about that anymore. And I'm so glad that she shut him down. A
Yep.
lesson that Bree needs to learn, how to shut down or walk away. So that's pretty much, what it was for the meetup. We get a montage of the couples, just kissing each other, being lovey-dovey, and Christine telling Vic, like, I can't wait to get home, to be snuggled up to you, and my nosy ass, I'm very curious, where do they have them stashed? And also, given their Christian values, like, where are we on the value spectrum? Like, are we smashing? Are we staying apart? Are we not? I'm just curious how much they're practicing. That's all, because we don't get
Yeah.
a lot of them. Because is it like, Brittany, I'm a Christian, but he's not talking to me. But okay, we can have sex if you want. If that's gonna make you
Hmm.
happy, all of a sudden your values of a year thrown
Do you
out the
know
window.
each other in the biblical sense?
Jordan is talking to Vic, and he just happens to say, like, it's kind of scary to meet Emma, but he knows, like, it's going to take time, and it's a relationship that he has to build. And I don't think there was anything wrong with that, but Amber
No.
happened to be there, turns around and was like, hey, Jordan, if you ever want to bail, just let me know. And I'm like, oh.
I was real confused because, I mean, again, I watched this in bed holding hands with my wife, and both of us were very confused. And the way that we took it was like, I think Amber wasn't going to introduce him to Emma until after the wedding, which sounds fucking insane. Like I don't know why else, because it wasn't like he was saying like, oh, I don't want to meet this kid and she's got a kid and that's a problem for me. He was just like, well, I take this really seriously, and like I know that if this marriage is going to work, I also have to have a great relationship with my new stepdaughter. And he's like, hey man, don't you fuck out of here. I'm like, well, now this sounds like a reasonable thing to say. And I can only assume she had a little bit too much to drink and was just like a little bit on tilt from having to be in the same room as Chris for a while. Otherwise, I
Yeah.
don't know what she's upset about.
I don't understand the whole meeting the kid thing too, because they kept saying meeting on Saturday. I don't know in the grand scheme of things what that is. Is that before or after the wedding? Because one of them's wedding, they said Monday. Is that a Monday
Yeah,
after the Saturday or before the Saturday? I don't know if it's meeting after the wedding. Is that a hint that she's going to say no? So I'm not even going to bother for you to
yeah,
meet. So it's just very confusing, but I think that is part of the quote unquote suspense of
right.
them all. But yeah, I don't know what that's about. So that was it for the meetup. So we'll take another quick break and just kind of go through the highlights of some of the couples. All right. Ashley and Alex, after the meetup, she says she apologizes, which I hated, and is all
Hate
like,
that.
I didn't mean to attack you. Like, I just want to know what our relationship is. But the doubt is all over Ashley right now. You can smell
Hmm.
it on her, and she's just like, what am I doing? And it seems like her last relationship was very, very traumatic. So
Yep.
she's treading lightly in that regard. He says, I've had my phone back for 3 days. I haven't spoken to the ex, and I won't text her. even if we break up. And I'm like, these answers, nothing is reassuring about these answers because I'm
No.
reading that as, have you spoken to her? No, I haven't. Why? Because I haven't had my phone. I've only had it
Yeah.
back for 3 days. But if you give me 7, maybe I'll send her what's up.
Yeah. No, I have a text drafted. I just haven't hit send yet.
I'm giving it 5 business days. That sounds about right.
Right?
So I don't seem too much. Hey, big head.
Right. That's for sure what it's going to be. Or just like a wink face on like one of her pictures or some shit. Like we know where this is going.
She's like, are you still in Ohio? Yeah, I'll be back soon.
Yeah.
Like, I just got to get through this. I'll say no,
Keep that bed
get
warm.
get some endorsements, and then I'll come back. Don't worry, but I can't say anything right now.
This guy's gross.
And then while she's still like going, he's like, are you hungry? What do you want? Nuggets? Like, yeah, I'm the man. I know she likes nuggets. And then he
Oh
brings
my
out his
God.
app and then orders her McDonald's, fries, Coke, this. And I'm just like, what are we even watching? But on the flip side, yay, there goes that day trading money. He got Uber
Right.
money.
You got McDonald's money.
He got McDonald's
It all just felt like this is my way of like showing you, hey, I am really I know your order. I know it. I know what to get you. I know what's going to make you happy. And I'm just like, brother, you can't placate her with nuggets, but he can. It
He
worked.
sure can.
So,
It worked. Because that's like him saying, and you can totally hear Alex saying, if I wasn't into this, would I know your order? Would I know
right?
exactly what you needed at this point? But the kicker for me was the soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
Netflix got money now, and they're playing
Mm-hmm.
Dido. And specifically, they're playing the part where it's like, I will go down with this shit.
Yeah. Well, and watching this, my wife turned to me and she was like, I would have said so fast, I've lost my appetite. Like, she wouldn't even entertain this. It would have been, no, you can't give me food right now. I can't eat. I'm disgusted by you.
I mean, after a night of drinking, late
Oh, I
night.
know it. She would have said out of spite. She would have
Them
been hungry in bed.
fries, them salty fries is it sounds so good. Like, I'm mad at you,
Yeah.
but you know what? I'll take the fries with the
I will say,
crispy,
point of
with
personal
the
order.
crispy Coke. Yeah, I
They
understand.
they're in the Midwest. I know there is a Culver's nearby. Do not bring up McDonald's to me if we are in a city and there is a Culver's in town. How dare you? Get me Culver's. For those of us who are not in the Midwest, oof.
I mean, that's for Emma, a sweet treat with Culver's.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, we move on to Jordan and Amber. So, like I said, she's upset about what she heard. And like a grown adult, she's under the covers, just covering herself, not speaking to him. Ooh.
Passed out.
And listen, like we said, I hear Amber. It's not just her, it's her and her kid, and it's scary. But a lot of times when you're looking for someone to accept you, you do have to give grace and room for him to work through those fears. Like, the man is not saying, I hate you, you person who has children. That's
No.
Maps Australia. Someone specifically said, if they have a child, I am not here to raise another person's child. That is a turnoff for me. Blatantly, they
Oh my
said
God.
that. No, Maps Australia is on one
Jeez.
this season.
I want to watch. I have nowhere to watch it. Is the problem.
Yeah, we can talk.
Yeah.
And and yeah, so you should give grace, because as much as you're saying, like, to accept him, but he's going through a process. This is a man who came in saying, a person with a child, I don't think I could proceed with that, but fell in love with you. And it's like, you know what? I can make this work. I am open to this. Like, as human beings, unfortunately or fortunately, we change our mind. You got to be flexible with life, because life has curveballs
Yeah.
all the time. And the thing is, if he wanted to bail, he will bail, but he's doing all the things, that you're looking for. So
Yeah.
Jordan walks in, try to talk to her, put his hand on her back, like, do you want to talk, or do you want me to fuck off? She doesn't respond. So what does
She's
the next
unconscious.
best thing to do? He goes to
Like-
get a pizza.
Right. And they do this man so dirty, always showing him eating around
Yeah.
the clock. But I'm just
He's-
like, I think she just like got in bed and passed out. I don't think that she's ignoring him. I think she's like, I think she got too drunk and fell asleep.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. The good news is, and he says, like, oh, the good news is, like, yay, I found one more person I can't talk to. He's being sarcastic, but I feel bad for him.
felt
Jordan
bad.
says, like, he understands taking a breather, but total silence he does not understand. So
Mhm.
he's at home reading a book, wink, wink.
That's right.
That man ain't never read before. They were like, act natural. What? He
It's
grabbed the
upside
book.
down, man.
um, Emma comes back home. Hey, and you could tell like she's still being like a little cool towards him.
Mhm.
And she's saying like, listen, I understand you having fears. Like it's not that I don't understand. What I don't understand is you not telling me before you tell Vic. Again, that's fair. But sometimes the person that's directly affected might not be the person to talk to. You guys just met. It's
Yeah.
not like a long standing relationship and things like that. So I understand what she's saying. And also, I don't think it was like Jordan was like, yo, I don't
No.
want to. It was like a casual, like he knew you were behind. He felt comfortable to just say, hey, it's going to be a big step. I just mean, to me, it's
Mhm.
just like a natural, thing that he
Yeah,
was saying.
it wasn't fears that I'm so scared I might bail on this. He's just like, hey
Yeah.
man, this is like a big deal. It would
Yeah.
be similar to saying like I'm a little bit nervous of meeting her parents. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, what? You hate that I have parents? It's like, no, I'm just nervous about meeting them and it's gonna be a big deal.
Yeah. So he says, I have genuine feelings. And the thing is, I have to meet Emma first. And she
Mhm.
says, like, but when did you start having these thoughts? And he's like, I mean, I've had them, but they really set in now, like we're getting closer to the wedding. And he worries about, Emma not, liking me. And Emma is so no nonsense. She's like, listen, she didn't like that I told her to brush her teeth. She's a child. She'll be all right. And then
Yeah, no,
she's like,
I had that same thought. I'm like,
she's like, it's
listen, kids that age, they like it if you play with them. Jordan is basically 8 in terms of like his humor, and when he's gonna have a fun time with her. Like they're
yeah,
gonna
but
be
he
just
doesn't
fine.
know that.
He doesn't
I
know
think
that. I
she
get that
should
he doesn't
just,
know it.
yeah, just create room for him to go through the whole thing. And it's all like,
Mhm.
they're not going to film the meeting, but it's all on camera and you're just meeting someone and you don't have a base. Watching our loved ones age is one of life's toughest transitions, and a lot of people are part of the sandwich generation where you have to take care of young kids and aging parents. I've been through it, and I've also seen some of my friends overwhelmed trying to balance kids, career, and home while realizing they can't do it all alone. It's a lot to carry. If you don't know where to start, Care.com is here to help you breathe again. You can browse background checked in home caregivers or explore local senior living communities. At Care.com, you'll find specialized support for everything from meal prep to support for loved ones with dementia, backed by real reviews from families just like yours. And Care.com has safety in hiring tools so you can hire with confidence. Or you can even get a senior care advisor plan and talk to a master's level social worker to build a personalized care plan. I'm partnering with Care.com because it really is an easier way to find help. For a limited time, go to Care.com and use code AltacallMAFS for 20% off your initial Care.com subscription or a senior care advisor plan. That's AltacallMAFS, all one word. With Care.com, start your senior care journey with confidence. And, he's doing a mind shift of someone who
Mhm.
didn't want kids also. So it's just like a
It's a
lot.
lot.
So she's like, it's one thing if we had a toxic relationship, we're fighting all the time, but we're not. He says he still loves her and he's not trying to bail. And she just keeps going on and on about, oh, men, they keep doing shitty things and then they keep showing who they are. And he's just like, I am not those men. And it's not
Yeah.
fair.
That's
Like, I
unfair.
don't know what else to do to get you to trust him. Again, 100% do not blame Amber. Like, you never know. The switch up is real when it comes to men, but it's just
That's
like
what
if
I
you
hear.
are gonna give yourself a chance, unfortunately, you do have to take that risk and hope that they don't prove you right.
Right.
So she says, yeah, like I usually just go into fight or flight. And he's like, I've just been so nervous. I'm glad we're talking this out that, I haven't even eaten. And she's like, what? You haven't eaten? And you keep saying like they're doing him dirty, but he's giving them the material. So she
Everybody
gives him,
eats though. Like
yeah, but
everybody eats. They just always show him eating.
he's giving, well, when he says things like, oh, she ordered me a pizza, which is coming on later, and he's like, oh, I'm just gonna go eat a pizza. And now he's like, I was so nervous. He didn't say I was so nervous I haven't slept. He said, I'm so nervous I haven't eaten. So,
That's true.
and she
He's
gives
not
him a
helping
hug.
himself.
And he says, I'm sorry, like, it went down this way, and like, you look so pretty. They make up, and I'm like, these two better get married.
They better. When he said, I was afraid you were going to leave, you could see
Oh,
her heart like soften in that moment and her like walk over to reassure him. And I'm like,
hmm
if y'all don't do this, like they need to say yes and they need to still be together at the reunion. Don't fuck with me, Netflix.
I don't know. The fact that she hasn't met Emma, if he is so important. But then again, he met the dad. So I mean I don't understand the logic, but this happened in Love is Blind Mexico, and they're the only couple who still stayed together, where she didn't want them to meet until the wedding day. So maybe there's a rhyme and reason to that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Bree and Connor, there was not a chance in hell that she was going to be honest about that conversation.
No.
I did not have high hopes. That was not going to happen. But what she does do is she shares the end of the conversation, well, part of it, talking about, him DMing her, and then he's like, "Why didn't we meet up?" And she's like, "I'm in a relationship." She does share the part about when he asked about the "Are you attracted to me?" And she does not share the Mr. Fusco or Rose and all the kind of thing. Does not share
Four
all that
Seasons.
She just says like, "Oh, he was being weird and very inappropriate, and it showed me who he was." And Connor was like, "That's disgusting." And then he tried to dap me up after that. That's just not right. Bree says, like, "I do want to ask you a question, though." He brought up the whole thing about Emma, Jess, and me being your number one, and he was like, no, that's very disrespectful. That's not how it happened at all." So they both say how they can't understand the flip. They both thought he was a great guy, and then he sends a text in vanish mode to Bree. I'm like, wait, the conversation wasn't enough? You still sent a text?
Because he's blackout drunk.
Okay.
He's out here doing stuff.
They both call him Fusco, by the way. So yeah, that's what they refer to him as. So Bree's like, "Okay, should we look at this together?" 1, 2, 3. They look at the text together, and he's basically asking, "Where are you staying tonight?" I can't wait to see how he gets out. I know what he's going to say at the reunion. "It was absolutely wrong, and I do apologize, and I've apologized to Connor. I shouldn't have done that." And then maybe alcohol might come into play.
That's the best case scenario. I could, on the other hand, just see him saying, "Listen, man, I'm just going to go full villain mode and be like, look, I'm better than this guy. I'm better looking than him. I'm more successful. She needs to be with a man like me." Like, he could just steer all the way into this skid because no one's going to believe him if he's like, "Yeah, no, I look back and boy, I did a bad thing." Like, no one's going to believe you.
Okay. Well, Connor's like, "Should I respond from your phone?" And she's like, "No, there's no need to respond. Just cut him off. Just don't cut off the oxygen supply." And I actually agree with her. Don't respond. Don't say anything, because one answer leads to another question, and he's just going to keep going. I don't know why no one's thinking about blocking him, but that's just me.
Well, you can send a response back if the response back is, "Leave me alone. Don't try to talk to me anymore. Like, I'm not interested. Fuck off." You could do one of those. But if your response is, "Yes, I'm staying in GV tonight," well, then yes, there's going to be follow-up questions.
Well, Connor was going to respond with something smart, but I'm just like, just block him off. There's no need. So I agree with her. Like, don't even respond at all. So Connor's like, "Listen, I get jealous, but I am trusting you at this point." And then they have a thumb war as Olivia Dean plays in the background. Be the man.
They got money.
Need. Yeah, they sure do. We see that they're meeting her dad in Michigan. This is going to be off camera because we don't see it. I think it was off camera because I think everything went well. We see pictures. It was like a whole family gathering on there, and all we got were pictures. We are not allowed into the Michigan home. So
nope.
There's that.
Not at all.
Christine and Vic, they are still cut off from the budget because they are picking their own flowers for their wedding. I'm kidding.
They're self-funding this whole endeavor.
This is just so interesting, and I wonder how that's going to be addressed at the reunion also. But they have set themselves up so well to the point that we are not expecting them to talk about stuff that if they do, it'll be a pleasant surprise, and if they don't, we're expecting anyways. They're not going to get called out for it because next season comes and then we still watch it. So Vic still has no fears about their wedding, and they're just getting ready to get married. I don't, there's a whole other segment of people on the interwebs who do not like this couple. People think they're plants. People think they're fake. And I must be missing something because I just think they're not getting a fair shake or full production. So it's hard to really be invested. But from what I see, I like them. And I don't know, they're the only hope for yes.
Yeah, two things can be true. I understand people looking at this and going, "These two are fucking plants." because they are so separate from everything else. Their
Yeah.
experience is so different from everyone else's. And it feels like, oh shit, we need to have a couple to prove the proof of concept that this show can still work. We need to have a couple that is just perfect from start to finish. There are never any problems to keep people in the belief that this process can work out perfectly. Because we haven't had one of those for a while. And that would explain why they don't seem to be living in the apartment with everyone else. It would explain why there's so much self-filming with them, because it's like, oh, we retconned this. We tacked it on after the fact to have them blend in, and we didn't do a great job with it. I'm not saying that's what's happening, but there is a lot of fuel to this fire that they are not helping themselves production-wise, because there's way too many things to point to and go, why is everything different for this couple that is also the only couple that is going super, super well? It feels a little bit suspect.
Oh, I don't have those suspicions, but hey,
I believe in them. But I also believe that we went to the moon, and there's people that are like, we didn't go to the moon. So like there's enough breadcrumbs to have people who are already conspiratorial thinkers going, this isn't real.
Their stuff. Yeah. I just don't I want to know how they retconned it and how they were able to make the party. That party timing has been on my mind a lot. I want to know the timing because of the whole Alex flew in from Austin, but then Vic and Christine were there, but then Jess and Chris had broken up also. What is the timing of that party? Like, I just, it's throwing me off. And I'm just like,
that could be the day they got back from Malibu.
We really couldn't afford an apartment? Really?
Right. It's all that. Netflix has more money than God. You guys could have afforded to put them in mansions if you wanted to. Don't tell me there was no money to include them in all this stuff.
Listen, I've listened to some reality producers, and they were like, no, Netflix is, or I don't know, Kinetic are really, really tight when it comes to budget. And it does, like, it's not just them. You have to add, like, the crew, the stuff or whatever. But we had a breakup, right?
Yeah.
If we I just, that's the part I don't understand. That I'm just like, even if we're retconning and an apartment, anyways, I'm wasting
too much time. 90 Day Fiancé just brought a lease on. Like, you could, if a couple breaks up, you can just swoop somebody else in. If this happens, there's money for that.
So I don't know. Emma and Mike. Emma is just trying to involve Mike in wedding colors, and he's like, whatever you want. And I'm like, this poor baby. This wedding is not happening. I feel like if Emma and Mike get married, I'm going to be very surprised. In my mind, Mike is out. I don't see this happening. So, Brittany and Devontae, we see her house. She has a business downstairs where she does lashes in her basement. Is this legal?
Can't imagine it is. I'm like, on the health board, but I don't think.
My first thought was, did I didn't rewind, and I'm like, am I reading this wrong? But if you're doing that in your basement, I don't think that this is allowed, but maybe the rules are different.
Maybe.
Her house is pretty. I mean, good for her. And Devontae is doing his thing, talking about, I know you talk at the movies. I already know.
Because she black? Is that what you're saying, Devontae?
Like, what? Okay. And then they start talking finances. Listen, guys, Brittany's mortgage is $1,215.
Yeah.
God's favorites. What does it feel like?
I live in a cheap metro. The last time I had an apartment was 12 years ago now. Was when I was living in my apartment. My rent for a 2-bedroom was $1,175. So like, her mortgage being cheaper than that now, and I live in a cheap ass place to live, I was like, this is unbelievable. Like, this is shocking news.
Wow. Good for her. Never sell.
Right?
Okay. We're going to move to the tux and wedding dress shopping because that just came from nowhere. We're watching one thing, and the next thing we see all the guys together, and Connor is like, I'm never talking to Chris again. He was trying to talk to my fiance. And I'm like, oh, they all know what happened? Because Vic is like, oh, like, did you hear what happened? You know, what's up? And Jordan is like, I would have responded and sent a picture of my nut sack. And
I might have to.
And then Connor's like, dude, who do you think you are? You're like 5'6". Like, I'm like, okay.
Right.
And then I'm like,
come teeny tiny Nick Lachey.
I'm like, where are they? And then niggas was like, hey, and I'm like, oh, it's tux. We didn't even get a lead in into
Uh-uh.
that. Okay, so we go through the tuxes. Vic is wearing white. I don't like it. He still has no reservations. Okay, I see why they think he's a plan. All he says is, I have no fears. I have no reservations.
Mhm.
Mike is wearing black. It's just okay. Nothing stands out.
It's
Devontae is
blah.
wearing a black suit with a tie, like he's going to a conference in Vegas.
Mhm.
His brother's there. I don't know if it's his full brother. His brother does not look biracial
No, at all. Even
at
down to
all.
the hair texture. None of this matches.
Yes. So I don't know if maybe he's his half brother. I don't know, but
I
okay.
don't know.
Devontae says he's doing a tie clip that matches her dress, and I'm like, Devontae with an A. You're not getting
Mhm.
married. What are we doing? So
No.
I can't believe he's
No.
even made it this far, but here we are.
Mhm.
Connor is in a black tux and a bow tie. Alex is also in black too with a bow tie. Oh my god, they're all so
No
boring.
creativity.
None of it, nothing. Alex says the way I look at it, I'm not nervous. Does his mile a minute thing again, so whatever.
Mhm.
Jordan, I think he's in gray. He had this bright blue the first time, and I was nervous, but he's in
Yeah.
gray.
Royal
Um,
blue.
the women are also getting their dresses. Brittany already bought her dress before the experiment in Faith. Um, I don't want to shit on anyone's faith because you should have faith. You should. Part of faith is seeing the unseen,
Mhm.
but I would not put faith in Love Is Blind. Their
I'm not
stats.
even sure if she bought it for Love Is Blind. I'm not sure when she bought it. I don't know if she said she got it on sale. Like it was a really good sale. So I'm wondering if she's had this dress for like a year and just like one day I'm gonna get married and I've already got my dress. I don't know. If you bought it right before the show, that's insane. Because I would assume the show provides you these dresses. So like that's a weird choice.
Okay, so now we need to know when she bought it. Before the application, after the
Yeah.
application, or when? So
This I'm curious.
Vanessa, add that to your list of questions.
Don't just
Um,
ask when she's gonna get pregnant. Like let's ask about this shit too.
um, who brought out their dress first? I can't remember who had their dress. It was Christine. Christine
Yeah.
came out with her dress. She came out with the first one, and she's like, "Oh!" And I thought everyone was gonna do the, "Oh my god, it's so great!" Because I didn't like it, but she's like, "Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it." She was the second one. I was like, "Huh? This is not better." She's like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, I hate it." I was like, "Good." Her third is good, but I'm just tired of the kind of silhouette that it has in the top. But
Yep.
she felt the same way, so she finally found one that she liked. Emma's dress is okay. I feel like we've seen it before.
Yep.
Um, the thing about Britney, right, that has already bought a dress, it's cute, but my question is, if he says no at the altar, what happens to that dress?
You can't wear it again. You can't
Can you?
wear that for your next wedding. I don't.
Yeah.
It's got bad juju on it, so you can't put it back on.
Yeah, so that is some faith. Is like,
Yeah.
that's a risk. Like, listen, if Love is Blind is willing to buy you a dress, like, just take the dress and get a second one. But
Yeah.
and just in case, if he says yes, then you can always change to that at the reception.
Mm-hmm.
You
Or
know,
have a
but not
second
the
wedding
dress that
later
you got.
on.
Yeah.
No, that's
So
a lot of faith in this necklace man.
okay. Bree and Connor's moms are here, and I'm like, oh, does this mean like this is absolutely serious? And they're getting along. I absolutely liked Bree's dress. No notes.
Mm-hmm.
I actually first try, first everything. And then her
Yeah.
mom is all like, I don't think you need all the sparkles and everything for the dress. And I'm like, there are other people here who have
Yep.
the sparkles and everything.
All
Maybe
the
don't say
tacky
that.
sequins and shit.
Maybe don't say that out loud. So,
Right.
Ashley's been looking nervous the whole time. She's been in the background, but she looks troubled. That's the
Yeah.
best way to put it. She
Her
just
and her
looks
friend.
like, yeah, like why am I here? Like I really should cut it off, but am I tripping? But that was the look that we're going. But she comes up on there. They're telling her she looks like Barbie. She goes really simple, and honestly, it's cute. It's cute if that's what
Mm-hmm.
she's gonna wear to say no. Amber walks Amber walks out in this sparkly strapless number. I mean, it's cute. But you know what else made an appearance, Brian? That yellow thing that Brittany clutches came
Mm-hmm.
up again. I am Googling to find out what it is. And people have the same questions, but they came up with the same answers that we did. Is it a vape or is it chapstick? We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know. And I will say, when we saw Amber come out, my wife was like, "Oh, look at that! Not in a scoop neck." because she is perpetually in a scoop neck mini dress at all times.
Oh, that's funny. But anyways, if anyone knows what the yellow thing is, though, I really still
Yeah.
do want to know because she clutches it so tightly, and I know that she's probably covering the name of the brand because they do that
Yeah.
thing where they cover the name brands. But I need to know because, but I
It's her
do think
emotional
that
support chapstick.
if it was a vape, Devontae would have been on that. Like, well, I don't want a woman who vapes. Like, it's a
Yeah.
no for me. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But why
It
does she
would
have
have
to
been a thing, I
hold
think.
it? Like, I don't know.
Like I
Anyways.
said, it's her emotional support chapstick. I think she just needs a fidget for when she's nervous.
Okay. Final dates. Bree and Connor. He calls her dad. Okay, we've been talking about how Bree usually nitpicks on Connor, and he was talking about, going to see your dad was fine. He says, like, seeing G-Man, and she's like, don't call him G-Man, say Mr. McNeese. I'm like, okay.
I'll tell him that. I'll call him that to his face.
She's talking and he's just smiling, and she's like, you're cheesing. It's so weird. I'm like, okay. He gives
Can I be
her
happy, please?
he gives her a compliment, and she's like, it's so interesting that you think I'm so great because you're not getting my best self. They both share the things that they like about each other. They're on a train. That was a pretty cool date, though. They're on a train and
Yeah.
just going around seeing the sights. Emma and Mike go to the Africa Event Center. I have no comment. She
There's so many
she
giraffes.
they feed the animals, they do all the things, and then they sit down, and she talks about starting a tradition on their anniversary. And then she says, I want us to have shared experiences before we start a family and, before that family comes. And I just feel like if you're on the fence, don't say things like that. You
Yeah, because you're
can't
giving the
say it
impression you're on the
so,
fence anymore.
yeah, don't say it so definitively to someone who very badly and very clearly wants kids. Because before I even finished that thought, of course, the only thing he heard was like, oh, wait, does this mean you want kids? He didn't hear
Yep.
traditions. He didn't hear Christmas. He didn't hear anniversaries. He was just like, so you want kids? Because I mean, you said it. You said when
Yep.
we
He
have
heard
kids, you want
start
us to
a
do these
family.
things. And she's like, I think like you're the right partner. And how I feel is that, I'm just continuing to be open minded. I do see a family with you. I think you'll grow with time. And then just like that, we go from definite to on the fence again. But you have to be careful.
Yeah. Gunner is somewhere cussing in German so loud right now.
Devontae and Brittany have a date in the hot tub. I've never seen a hot tub be so unsexy. They're not far apart. There's no touching. There's nothing happening. Devontae is still talking about the pressure of marriage because, Love is Blind is not about marriage.
No.
My God, what a
It's a
concept.
therapeutic hot tub at this point.
He said that he's definitely worried as she's using words like, "Oh, I like Devontae. Like he's totally worth me giving up my independence."
No, we ain't.
Not on the
No, we
same
ain't.
page. Why are you giving up your independence? What are you even
I
saying?
don't know.
So he tells her that he needs time, to sit with it, and it's beginning to weigh on him in a good way. Pray tell Brian, when things weigh on you, how does it weigh on you in a good way? What are examples of a good weight?
I've never experienced that. I mean, the closest I would get was like when my son was born. I'm like, oh, it's a whole lot of pressure all of a sudden, but like, I'm gonna do it. But like, that wasn't pressure. It wasn't weighing on me in a good way. It was just like, I'm a little bit scared of my dad all of a sudden. I don't know what it's like to have pressure weighing on me in a good way. That's not a thing I've ever
It
known in
does
my
not
life.
exist.
No.
Okay? If something
No,
is
it's a fake
weighing on
thing.
you, that is a negative. There's a
Yeah, it
difference
hurts so
between
good.
I'm overwhelmed, I'm nervously excited, like, oh, okay, it is a lot to get through, but I'm so excited to go through it and figure it out. But if someone tells you it's weighing on me, that no, it's
It's
not
never a
good
good
thing.
way.
So anyways, it's all a setup because he tells his fiance, like, because of all this happening, I need to go sit with my thoughts. And before you get things twisted, I mean, like, I'm going ghost, as in, like, I'm going off the grid, as in, like, I'm unreachable. Guys, he's saying all of this. I'm not making it up.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's going to be a whole day. Like, you cannot get me. You cannot reach me. If something happens to you, you better change your emergency contact. It's not me.
Yeah. Pretend I'm on the moon for a day. Just like, what is it over the top? My phone's helping me. Somebody's going to turn it off. I might even just door it away. I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, what is your problem?
And she's like, do you feel not certain that you're not going to say yes? I'm like, Brittany, do
Why
you
are you asking
want
questions you don't want the answer to?
the Love is Blind flip script?
Don't do
I
this.
am not saying yes. You
God.
colored person.
I feel so bad for her because she fell for the okie doke. She really thought things had gotten better. We got past that hump. And I'm just like, he's not into you, man, because you're dark. And that's not okay with him.
Guys, I know, like, I just said colored person. I know he said person of color, but just I know, like, it's a
We know
big
what he
thing
meant.
here. Yes, I was meant like person of color because and I was talking about this on another episode, like over like in South Africa and stuff, it is still called like colored person, but I know like it's a huge deal here. But y'all listening long enough, you know what I meant. Like he
He
meant
would
person
call
of
her
color.
colored anyway. Like he would for sure
I
call her
hope
a
not.
negress.
I hope not. But
Well,
I mean, please give me that hope. I hope not. So she asks, like, he says, I'm 98% yes. I'm like, Devontae,
why are you
you're
doing
like
that?
0% yes.
If it's
And,
not 100%, you're out.
and she says, well, my biggest fear is you saying no. And, wearing the dress was so exciting. I'm not going to have my parents come by if that wasn't a thing. And I'm like, please don't use emotional blackmail. It's not worth
Mm-mm.
it. Please don't do that.
Don't trick this
And
man.
I'm like, it's just so much pressure. Like, just say no now, Devontae. Don't
Yeah.
wait till the altar. Just say no now.
Just
And
drown yourself in the hot tub and get it over with.
then he says, like, oh, someone heard at the fitting that you said I don't kiss you enough, or I don't say that you're pretty enough. And he was kind of pissed because he felt like he was being talked about in a negative way. Who's the snitch?
I had the same question. I have two options. It could be Christine, because Vic and Christine are so tight they would share anything. And it could be Amber, because I feel like Amber and Jordan both like some drama sometimes if it's not involving them. And they're like me and my wife, where it's like we got tea and we gotta talk about this on the drive home. Like the second I see you, we're talking about this shit.
But I just wanted to know who told him. I didn't
Yeah,
know
I'm
that he
curious.
was cool with anyone in that way. And
Yeah.
she's like, I mean, it also could have been like a confessional, and she was answering a question because she's
Yeah.
like, they just asked me, how do you show your love, or something to that effect. And she
Mhm.
says, I know you're not someone that's gonna be gushing over me. And he's like, yep. And he's like, it's not like I wouldn't like it. You're not really expressive. He's like, yep. And I'm like, nah, girl, don't settle.
Don't accept that.
She's like, it's not like I wouldn't want it, but I just know like I shouldn't think about it. And he's not saying I'll do better or I'll do something. He's just like, yep, that's not me. Don't expect it.
You're right.
I'm not gonna do that.
If your love
So
language is words of affirmation and physical touch, do not be with somebody who will not give you words of affirmation or touch you physically.
yeah.
And don't be like, well, I'm just going to have to accept that I'm never going to have my needs met because I like this man. Like, no, do better. Get you a man who will shower you with affection and touch you all the time. They're out there for
Why?
her.
At least she has a husband. Yay. And
A bad one
go.
with no neck.
He says, one more thing. He buried the lead with this one. I
Mhm.
have made a lot of sacrifices to be here. And basically, he wants a prenup. He gives this
Yep.
long speech, but he wants a prenup. And he was like, I don't even think we talked about this in the pods.
Should
She's
have.
like, wait, what? He blindsided her. And he's
Yeah.
like, she's like, okay, so if I don't sign it, does it affect anything? He's like, I don't know. I don't know if it affects anything if you don't sign. And she's like, I feel like you have a plan to not always fight for it. And he's like, I'm not a quitter. Like she's a marathon that he needs to finish, not a human being that he plans to marry. Oh wait, he's not planning to marry her.
No. I read this whole scene as him trying to get her to bail. It's I'm gonna try to start a fight about me not giving you affection. You handled that really well. So now I'm gonna bring up that I need a prenup and see if that's gonna push you away. Like he's trying to get her to leave is what it feels like.
Yeah. I don't know, but I don't think she's like, can we pray? They pray, and then when they're done, they high five each other. If you've been listening long enough, you know I hate that. I hate when these couples come together, they don't give each other affection, they're like high-fiving each other. It's not a good sign. Keith and Iris were high-fiving each other all through their marriage, and I'm
Yep.
like, no, not good. It is not
I never high fived
looking
my
good.
wife once.
So I'm just, Brittany is she can do better. You can find someone that's gonna give you all the things. Yes, you're gonna have a husband. Yes, your daddy likes him, but this is not it. This is not
No.
even if in the 0.01% chance he says yes, they're not gonna make it to the reunion. So
Nope.
we'll see what happens with that. Okay. Emma is meeting Jordan at the wedding. Okay, so again, we've talked about this. We don't know why they're not meeting ahead of time. They have a plan
Right.
to do all that. Ashley and Alex, I think theirs was at the cabin of sorts. Sorry, Emma and Jordan didn't have anything really stand out at their dates. They went to like this
No.
cool illusion thing, and
My kid would
it's
love it.
just it's so and that's the thing. Amber always talks about I said Emma and Jordan. Amber and Jordan. Amber is always talking about Emma. Like it's just like, oh, Emma did this, Emma took the ring, Emma did this. And you're just like talking about him a lot, but it's like, nope, you can't meet him. Meet her yet.
Yeah.
So I
It's
don't know.
confusing.
There's no need. They've decided, and that's what it is. So Ashley and Alex, they're at a cabin of sorts with a fireplace and lights and champagne, and they're making hypothetical plans for where they're going to go for Christmas. They're not going any of these places. They're talking about Antarctica or whatever it is. I don't
This man
know.
hates plans.
So she's like, I just want to know where our home is going to be. She's asking all these questions. She's like, oh, do you have a question for me? He basically has no questions for
No,
her.
not one.
And any question she asks, he's like, I don't know. So everything's so non-committal and just weird and awkward.
Yeah.
And the
He doesn't like
convo is
her.
just, the convo is just weird. The things that she has to say, because I think he asked her, like, what are the things that you say about to your friends about me? And she's like, they know about your day trading, your family and friends seem to have good things to say about you. Seem.
Seem to. Except Priyanka.
um she asks how he's feeling about the whole thing and the marriage, and he's like, yeah, I have to bring everything back to soccer. I'm like,
You have to.
how many years ago was this again? Like, can you just let it go?
It's a minimum of 7 years ago that his career ended. Because if he was a redshirt player, he would have graduated college at 23, got drafted, never signed to a team. It has been 7 years since you played soccer competitively.
I think it's even longer, but he's like,
Probably that.
You can't control the outcome, but I am half of the outcome. So we'll see how I'm like, okay, I don't even care what he's saying. But she says that she's attracted to the fact that he was decisive about her because she's been second best for so long. And it goes back to, I think it was, we had this conversation about another country franchise for Love is Blind. You cannot be a single person, a single issue, not voter, but single issue reason to marry someone.
Yeah.
I've been second best. You made me first. So that's it.
So I'm
And
here.
then you
That's
ignore
it.
everything else about that. Because yes, he chose you first, but everything else is questionable about this man.
He's been lying the entire time.
Vic and Christine, their date, they go to a spa far, far away from everyone. It looked like it
Probably
was
in Wisconsin somewhere.
They say nice things about each other. I mean, they have no issues. They just want to eat their cashews alone. There's nothing about
I
that.
said, you have cashew money? I was like, ooh, you fancy.
Okay, we have a breakup this episode, and it's Bree and Connor. Let's go back to Bree bitching. I'm like, nothing strange about this. This is what she does all the time.
What
She's
she does.
bitching about not being her best self because she's been grinding. And then Connor says even more nice things about her. And then when he compliments her, she's like, stop. But like, no, stop. Like, don't
Like, for real,
marry me. Then she asks him, are you ready for marriage? And then goes like, transparently, when I saw your car, I was like, this guy doesn't give a shit about anything. How is this a representation of our house and our family? Like, what? I was like, what is happening? What are we watching? And she says it's in the clothes you wear. Like, it doesn't have to be high end or anything, but there needs to be a pride. There's no hustle. Are you going to be a liability? That she's used to being out alphaed by the guy she dates. Like, am I going to make more money? That there was no confidence of this. Like, she will take, like, there's no confidence when they go to a restaurant. Like, it's like, he's going to be like, you have this, you're gonna have this. Instead, he looks at her like, oh, what should we order? And it's just weird energy she's not used to. My jaw or
I was
mouth
so
was on
mad.
the ground because
Yep.
she kept going and going like he wasn't there. And the thing
Yeah.
is, Brie doesn't read a room. Like the words are just stuck in her and she needs to
Mm-hmm.
get them out. Recipient be damned. Like it doesn't matter. And I'm like, what? He manages to squeeze out a few words. He's like, I'm more of a
Yeah.
listener. But then he's laughing. And I'm like, wait, I thought she was beating you down. Why are you laughing? Why are you
Because
smiling?
I think he's just like okay. The way that I watched this, the first that I had is red pill manosphere. Chris got in her head and was like, "No, I do need an alpha male who doesn't even care what I want to eat and just tells me what to eat." Like that sounds like a bad time. Like I
Yeah.
like to pick my own food. I like to collaborate with my wife on should we order a couple of apps and split them? What are we gonna do? The part beyond that, I think he listened to this and was waiting for the turn to happen where she's like, and I've realized I don't need that shit in my life. Like, this is what I need, and you are what I want. And when it didn't happen, he was like, hold up, what? Wait, I thought I thought this was gonna be like and I've realized that no, the turn never came. And I think he was laughing, waiting for it to be like, and it turns out I've been wrong this whole time, which is why I haven't found somebody yet. And that didn't want to happen.
No, it's not. I was just on a roller coaster because I was just like, can you not be so mean to him? And I thought they were just discussing plans for the
This
wedding.
is vicious.
So then she says, my dad and I have been having conversations, and he's been saying like maybe this is what I need. I've just been so critical and analytical, and I've lost sight of love being blind, because had she seen it, she would have missed these things. And she hates that she watered down all the things that he was doing. And I'm like, oh wait, this is a declaration of love. Like she's saying all the
Yeah,
things that her dad made her
here's the
realize.
turn.
And she's like, she has never experienced anything like this from anyone, that he loves her so much. But she's trying to decide, like, is he the total package, or is he in her life to teach her how to be loved? Is this the
Kind of
person
cussed her
for the
out.
rest of her life? I'm like, oh, wait, it's not a declaration. It's a beatdown. Like,
Uh-huh.
is he some emotional support, like a dog? Like the emotional support dog that they have,
Oh
that they
yeah.
train them on how to teach me how to be loved? Oh, she says, yeah, I can't go up to the altar with a question mark. And if we do this today, it's going to be a no, dog. And she's like, but why is it a no? I'm questioning, why is it a no? And he's like, you would have been a yes for me.
Yeah.
She
I was
goes,
ready to say yes on Monday.
and she's like, what the fuck am I doing? But if we go through this, I hope it's not a no forever. Brian, we know how this goes. No.
It needs to be. Listen, if it's me, I would have become petty Roosevelt so fast. I would have talked her up and down. Like, you, for real? Oh, you think you're so great? All this shit, the way that you entertain Chris over here, all that nonsense he was saying, like, I would have gotten nasty and vicious with her right back. Because you're not going to full on insult me in my face over and over again and then be like, maybe you're just like an important stepping stone in my life. Like, no, I am a person. I'm not like a side character in your life story. Like, I am a human being with feelings and emotions, and you are treating me like I am not that. I would have been so mad at her in this moment.
That's what I thought. But then we see Connor smiling. And then he's like, oh, it's been what a ride. But I think
Yep.
because of that, when he said that, I think that's when I knew that he knew before this discussion. This was the
Yeah.
discussion for the camera, but she had
Yeah.
already gone to him and talked to him. I was like, hey, I don't think so. And the producers are probably like, you have to reenact this on camera. And
Yep.
I can hear Bree saying, like, I can't, I respect you too much. I can't blindside you on camera. I just want to let you know, because for
I
him to
could see
just be
that.
smiling and saying, "Oh, it's been a ride," there was some finality to it that he already knew that that's what it is. So in her
Yep.
confessional, she's saying, "I don't understand why like you were going backwards." He took it like a champ, I think, but the poor guy
Mm-hmm.
still has hope that they're still gonna get married. But
I
in
don't
his
know.
confession, he's crying and saying, "It's been the ride of a lifetime, so thank you." I'm like, oh, this was so
He
sad.
deserved better than this because
Did.
he was basically everything that he could have been for her. We didn't
Yeah.
see him criticize her at all. The
Yeah.
closest we got was him being really uncomfortable that I believe it was on his birthday and she was talking about the other man she wanted to talk to all the time. Like, that was the
Yes.
worst he got, was like, damn, it's my birthday, man. Like, can we have a little bit of fun? that we could stack him up with like the best of the best husbands, and he might make like a top 10 list. And
Yeah.
it's fucked up the way that she treated him. I don't get it at all.
He'll be okay. I mean, he's
He'll be
been through
fine.
it. Listen, Patrick just launched his girlfriend recently in recent weeks, so he'll be okay. If she's concerned about his car or not having money, it's like, what's his name? Was it Jordan last season?
Yep.
They're gonna
Jordan
get
Sparkle Megan.
endorsements, guys. Like, the money
Yeah.
is coming. That is not an issue.
No.
You want an asshole? Please, by all means, go find your
Yep.
asshole that's gonna
Go find Chris.
dictate what you're gonna eat and stuff like that. So I don't know. She'll be all right. Sparkle Megan 2.0.
Right.
Bachelor night, they go to Monster Truck, and I can't remember who said it. They say it's very Ohio. This is what they do. For that,
Oh, I hated
Mike
this.
is excited. Why are you excited? He's excited to see Emma in her dress. Note that he did not say I'm excited to get married. He's excited to
Right.
see Emma in her dress. This dreamer of a man named Alex says that in 5 years he sees himself with a what? Phenomenal house in Florida, a potential trust in Dubai, and a safe house in Queenstown, New Zealand. I know what a phenomenal house is. I Googled what a safe house in Queenstown was, because a safe house to me is where you go when you're in jail, but a
That's what
safe
I
house
thought.
is a place where victims of domestic violence can go to live, with tracks, because he says he was
Oh.
like in an abusive household. I do this for you guys, right? You know, so
Okay.
you don't have to, because it
I
didn't
was
make
like, you're gonna
sense.
escape?
Yeah, I'm
You have
like,
to hide out?
and say it on camera.
Right?
But a potential trust in Dubai, I'm not quite sure. So I trust you guys. Someone please let me know what that is. I don't know, because
I think he's saying words that sound rich. Trust and Dubai and yeah.
your family, don't they put a trust for you? I don't know. So
That's what I
you know,
thought.
I don't know everything. So anyone who knows what a potential trust in Dubai is, let me know. Bachelorette, nothing to talk about. They had a casino
No.
themed with chips that have the groom's faces on them. That's it. Jordan says they can't be having fun because Amber texted him to be like, do you want pizza for dinner? Should I order?
Right? I'm already on the way home. This shit's whack.
Okay, as always, we get our first wedding day, which always ends in a cliffhanger. And Emma is happy. She feels happy. Her mom loves him so much. Mike is concerned that he doesn't know what she will say. He knows what he's going to say, but he doesn't know what she's going to say. His mom and sister come by. It is Emma's birthday. They didn't make a big deal about that, but
That's
it is
right,
Emma's birthday.
That's right.
On that. And her mom comes in, and it's just like, it was just funny. Like, her mom is saying one thing, the body language is saying something completely different. Like, again, it's fine. So they go see Mike and his mom and his sister. And his mom says, like, she's very concerned about him. Every time she spoke to him, he had an attitude. He says, I'm sorry, but you have the worst timing. You call at the wrongest times. And apparently she's been crying.
Nonstop, sounds like.
It's not that deep, but I don't know what you're crying about, but I'm going to let her slide on this one. And she said she's learned more about this, and she's, fine. They say 8,000 times between her and her dad, we just want you to be happy. If you're happy, we're happy. Okay? If you're happy, we're happy. And, we're just traditional. And we dated for 5 years before we got married. Traditional people do 9 months. What you talking about? 5 years is not.
5 years is long as hell. How many times y'all break up in those 5 years?
His mom says, we love her. She fits in. And Mike just looks like he was about to run, because he's like, no, you guys are supposed to tell me, like, no, we don't want it. So I have a reason to say no.
We talked about this, you guys.
Mike said, and that's the thing about the parents. They don't sign up for this show, but then they drag them into this so people like us talk about them. So
sure do.
Mike wants her to go first to see if she says yes. Somehow in Mike's mind, Mike thinks that if she says yes, she's saying yes to kids. I don't know if that's a conversation they had, but somehow that's his interpretation, but okay.
Yep.
They go walk down the aisle. They're on there. This man is supposed to do his vows, does not even do vows, and goes straight to, I want to know that you want to start a family with me.
In front of everybody. Like, this is not the moment to have this conversation.
No.
This is not the time for this.
No. You were supposed to figure that out before the altar. He even
Mm-hmm.
says, it's not fair, but I need to know. And this is like, 90 day when all over time they keep saying, we only have 90 days to figure out if we're going to get married. No, you should know before then. 90 days is
Yeah.
to wedding
To
preparations
give you time for that. It's not
to
to
figure it
figure
out.
out.
Yes, this pissed me off so bad. And that alone is enough for her to say no because you're just taking away her choice. And it feels like you're pressuring her in front of everyone when she said, like, she's on the fence. Yes, I know she
Mm-hmm.
said, I want us to do this, but she did end with, I'm still open and I'm still thinking about it. If you know you really wanted kids, why proceed with someone on the fence? You said you were okay
Right.
with it and you're not giving her that. And, this was so annoying. I think I saw her sister
Yep.
roll her eyes.
Probably.
So
I would have.
terrible vows, my dude, if you can
Yep.
call them vows. So they ask
Flop.
her if she's saying yes. She gives like a long lead in and she's like, I'm sorry. Then pause. I can't see a future without you and I love you. And then everyone's all confused. And then she's like, oh, that was a yes. I'm like, oh, Emma. Emma
Yeah.
going, Emma.
She said, I can't see it like 12 times in a row. And it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, a life without you. This is not a time for jokes and comedy. And you aren't that funny. So even that's not going to land for you. You're not funny like that.
So when she says that, I mean, there was applause, but you could see everybody on her side seemed surprised. They were like,
Yeah.
whoa, oh, okay.
Like, oh,
And
shit.
So now we got to see what Mike is going to say. Do you think Mike is going to say yes or no?
I think he's going to say yes, and they're broken up by the reunion. I
Okay.
think that in this moment, you can't say no and be like the bad guy here. Because essentially you're saying no, because I don't believe that you really do want to have kids. And like that, you're basically saying no because you're a liar. I think you have to say yes here. And then when you get home, be like, all right, so like, when you ovulating? And then she's going to say, I don't want to have kids right now. Like, oh, well, I'm out then, I guess. And you can blame it on her at the reunion. But it felt to me like he thought she was going to say no. And now he's kind of, rocking a hard place here.
Well, I think him and his mom want him to say no, but
Yep. Dad too look like.
the dad seemed like the peacemaker. He's just like, listen, I'd prefer this, but if it does, we'll be all right. It's okay.
Yeah,
It's
but
not
mom
the
has
end of
made up
the
her
world.
mind.
But the mom has been crying every day.
Yeah. I can't stop crying.
I don't even know. I wish he had asked, why are you crying? Like,
Right?
what is the
Happy
thing that is
tears or
giving you such distress that you have to cry
Yeah.
every day?
It's not
Anyways.
great.
Well, that's it, guys. We are left on a cliffhanger and we will find out with the weddings what is going on. And as a reminder, we combine the yes and no's with the reunion and we'll talk about those then in 2 weeks, I guess, for that. All right, Brian, can you share with people where they can find you?
Yep. You can listen to me at Maths Virgin. We are currently covering the Houston season of Maths, season 13. The villains are starting to reveal themselves. It has taken a little bit of time, longer than I thought. But yeah, the villains are showing up in a major way all of a sudden, and it's making me pretty happy with the direction things are going here. You can join our Facebook group, the Maths Virgin Fan Club, and then follow us on Instagram and Threads at Maths Virgin.
Awesome. You guys know where to find me. Also call MAFS on Instagram, on X, on Threads, on Blue Sky. And you can send an email if you want to. Always happy to hear your comments on that. Stay subscribed so you don't miss out on any new episodes. And please give me a 5-star rating if you're so inclined on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Until next time, guys. Bye.